we have two test VMs launched to trigger some traffic, and here we have the ASAV firewall service node definition and the VPN service node definition, also having the service configuration for the VPN. And here we have the service chain spec defined, having the ASAV VPN and firewall appliances in a chain. And we have a policy action which says redirect any traffic through this service chain spec that we created. And the classifier being used is a wildcard classifier. And the policy, we also have a policy rule which says redirect all traffic through the service chain. And we have a policy rule set which has this policy rule in its list. And when we create a VPN group, the service chain gets instantiated and the ACV virtual appliance is launched, and it is also configured with the required ACNs for both VPN and firewall services. The configuration is also reflected on the OpenStack Neutron firewall as a service as well as the VPN as a service APIs. So here we see the VPN configuration being applied on the Neutron and the site-to-site connection being created with the configuration that we applied on the service chain node definition. And let us now trigger some traffic. So we configure a VPN box on the outside. We use a wireless virtual appliance for this test purpose, and we set up a VPN tunnel from this virtual appliance to the ASAV on the cloud. So here we see the tunnel getting established. Now let us create a VM behind the ASAV site and send some traffic from the remote site. So from this remote test VM, we are sending some traffic to the VM on the cloud behind the ASAV VPN and firewall. And we see that both ping and HTTP traffic, which are allowed by our firewall rules, being delivered successfully. And we also see the VPN traffic count getting incremented. Here we have the service chain node definition for the firewall, having a firewall rule to open up port 80 traffic, and a HA proxy load balancer node definition which has the LB method as round robin and the protocol port for the web as port 80. The policy action which says redirect traffic through the chain, and the classifier, and the policy rule which says redirect all traffic through the chain, and as well as the policy rule sets are already being created here. And now when we create a group and apply the provided rule set, the service chain gets instantiated. Here we see the HA proxy and the wireless firewall VMs being launched. Also the load balancing configuration gets applied on the OpenStack LBAS. Let's create two web servers on this policy target group and send some traffic to it. Let's associate a floating IP to the LBAS web from Neutron. And when we trigger some HTTP traffic to the web IP, we'll see that the traffic gets load balanced in a round robin fashion as defined in our service chain definition. Here we see the traffic getting load balanced, and we can also see the rendering on the ACI. Here we see two groups. One is our actual web server group, and another is the traffic stitching group created for the service chain, which now proxies all the endpoints on the web server group. This way all traffic goes through the chain. And here we see the contract being applied on the group. We have the redirect to firewall LB here, and if we look at the contract view, we'll see that the contract is being provided by the web server group, and it's being consumed by the external policy.